Good morning and rise and shine, and welcome to Live at 6:05. I am Dr. Amy Nussbaum. Glad to have you here this Wednesday morning as we dive into an interesting topic this morning. And let me ask you some questions first of all. Have you ever had a dream or a goal that felt so important, but you didn't pursue it because you were afraid that you might mess it up? Or maybe do you hold back from starting something new because failure it feels too painful, or maybe it's embarrassing. You're worried about what other people might think of you if you weren't successful. Or are you stuck in indecision because you're afraid of making the wrong move? You want to make sure you go the right way, but you're just not quite sure which way is the right way. If any of that sounds familiar, then you are not alone. And today's message is for you because here's the truth. Fear of failure is one of the enemy's favorite tools to keep you stuck. But God did not create you to live a stuck life. He created you to move forward in faith. So, what is the fear of failure really? Fear of failure is more than just anxiety. It is a deeply rooted lie. And it tells you that if you fail, that you will be judged, that you're going to disappoint everyone, that you'll prove that you weren't enough to begin with. But that's not the voice of God. 2 Timothy 1:7 tells us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Fear doesn't come from him, freedom does. So, what happens when you let the fear of failure win? So, when the fear of failure wins, you stay stuck in planning and never taking action. You overanalyze everything and you avoid risk, but then you also miss the growth that is possible. You start saying no to things that God is calling you to, and yes to things that He's not calling you to. You let the opinions of others carry more weight than the voice of God carries in your life. You feel frustrated, you feel restless, and honestly, you're full of regret over what could have been. How many of us have thought, man, if I had just started this a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, when I first started thinking about this, where would I be today? But the fear of failure doesn't just block opportunity, it buries your God given potential. But here's the good news: failure doesn't disqualify you, it develops you. So, what happens when you take the first step anyway? I have a lot of people that say, well, what are the kinds of things that you do when you work in a coaching relationship? But imagine this: in the first few days after our first session, you begin to confront the lies that have kept you stuck. You identify the fears that are holding you back, and you start replacing them with the truth. And by week 3 of working together, you started taking real action, moving forward. The voice of fear gets quieter as your faith gets stronger, and you start to see some momentum building in your life, and you're not doing it alone. I am here every step of the way. By week 5, you feel proud of yourself because even the small wins remind you that you are not defined by the outcomes. You are defined by being obedient to the process. And by week 9, your confidence is growing. You're making bolder moves and trusting God with the results. By week 16, fear has lost its grip, and you've gained all these tools and insights and courage that will serve you as a springboard going forward in life. And you're walking in bold obedience to the purpose that God has placed you in. So, why you need to act now? The longer you wait, the louder fear gets. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and months turn into never. We just never take that first step. And uh, the dream that God has given you stays locked away inside of you. The enemy honestly doesn't need to destroy your dream. He just wants you to delay your dream. He wants to keep you stuck. But Jesus said in John 10:10, "I came that they may have life and have it to the full." It's time to stop shrinking back and start living life fully, stepping into your purpose fully. You don't you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to start. So failure doesn't have to be the final word here. Faith does. Just taking that first step in faith. If you're ready to stop letting fear call the shots and start walking boldly in your purpose, drop the word fearless in the comments or send me a quick message, and let's start taking that first brave steps together. And let's see what God can do with your yes. So I look forward to hearing from you soon, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. But until then, remember, you are made for more. So go light up this